It was to be a peaceful day. Engineering was getting power set up. Medical was clear of bodies and talking amongst themselves. The bar was peaceful as well. But in a dark corner of maintenance, there was something sinister brewing. And a cult was attempting to summon Narcy, the dark god of blood. The cult starts out with few personnel and fewer resources. Lily chooses to set up their hideout, while the clown chooses to scrounge for useful resources. When an IPC scientist, scrounging the maintenance tunnels for anything to make himself look more interesting and less like a Borg, approaches. In a mistake, Lily forgets to close the door, and Tin Pan, the IPC, is attacked once Lily realizes he is there. He is quickly cuffed and smeared in blood, covered in the runes created with the knife from Lily's hands. Tin Pan accepts his fate, knowing there is nothing he can do to stop the cultists from doing whatever they please. And with a demonic chant, Lily asks for her fellow cultist to show, so they can call upon Narcy to corrupt this IPC for their dark causes. The clown soon arrives, and after checking that no one is there, the cult, with an otherworldly scream, inflicts the corruption of the blood god into the IPC. He has been converted, and now also seeks to bring upon the end of all things. Meanwhile, P-Changer has a girder. This girder will become rather important later, but it is good to know that P-Changer is very protective of his girder and has named it Steve. So this is Steve the Girder. I promise this will become important later. I promise. Back in the land of the cult and their activities, the mime has convinced the clown to join them on a sinister prank. It seems this prank that the mime and the clown will collude on shall be the end of all of reality. And with this, the cult realizes something rather useful. The mime's vow allows them to communicate through their dark god's influence without alerting crew members of the demonic whisperings they do. And the cult agrees they need more supplies and depart to gather them separately for the time being. While the cult gathers their resources, medicine, handcuffs, and other things of the like, a few things of minor importance for later take place. For example, the girder named Steve gets an ID. This officially makes him a member of the crew in the eyes of both the law and the Borgs on board the station. This will be important later. Especially because, as it turns out, Steve the Girder can talk and also has some holy scripture to say at the chapel. Which, I guess that means this is now Steve, the holy girder of holy steel, or something? I don't know. Anyways, Steve is also crew, so Borgs are required to listen to it, and if people heard it, it's also, you know, a crime. Shut the fuck up, Borg. Anyways, after beating a Borg, it chills out and starts playing holy music. I don't have the MIDI of the holy music, because copyright. But, yeah. The first sermon of Steve is now over. And, what the fuck? No, Steve. Oh no. Steve, the holy girder of holy steel, is now Steve. Fucking dead. Also, an important note. Maple Truffle Brunch, the security officer that arrested the salvager who murdered Steve, is the current target of the cult. They need to sacrifice him to progress. But, he's a bit distracted with this situation, shall we say. It speaks to the worst part of us that words like, hey, can you help me out with something, turn into insidiousness and fear instead of cooperation and trust in the face of a blood cult. As Tin Pan lures Shiloh the scientist into the maintenance tunnels, and, well, there's not much they can really do about it as they stun and cuff the a lesson to the blood cult, to be sure. Such sloppy missteps would cost them everything if that scientist managed to get away. But with a scream from the other world, the scientist is corrupted with the dark influence of the blood god, just like the rest of them. Good news, though. Steve the Steel is now back and alive, and ready to preach the word of the almighty Lord above once more. Of course, the salvager had their ankles broken by Peach. That did not change. Another enters the maintenance tunnels. Another is hit by Fumajin. And another is dragged into the cult's dark embraces, with nothing they could do to stop the influence of the blood god. But this one, with the last shreds and strands of sanity, does manage to call out that there is a blood cult in Mainz. A problem, to be sure. Or at least it would be. See, the highest ranking security officer, the warden, is busy with hiring. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, Piashanger is having a delightful conversation with the revived Steve. See, Steve wants to take a quick sauna in the crematorium. Now, Peach is a little apprehensive, but Steve assures Peach it'll be completely fine and it won't hurt Steve at all. And the only way Piashanger could possibly live with what he has done is to not live at all. Piashanger requests his own execution. And this is where things become interesting. Piashanger was to be executed summarily by his own, well, desire. And the captain didn't really move fast enough for the lawyer. You see, the lawyer was demanding, successfully, a direct permit to execute Piashanger. And it took them a good while to get that. But another group took immediate advantage. You see, Tin Pan had been arrested for a minor crime, and with the entirety of the crew in the chapel, alongside every member of SEC besides the arresting officer of Tin Pan, there really wasn't much that this lone officer could do against the onslaught of the cultists. He ran, trying to get away. He called for help, but to no avail. He falls, and just like that, with a simple ward loose and overbearing warden, a couple non-intelligent security officers, and a delay caused by a lawyer, security has been taken over by the blood cultists. All while the chapel was awaiting Captain's order to execute. But the cult would get noticed, eventually. Not before the cult had successfully taken all of their advantages to heart, and tempered the soul, and smarted it, and smushed it, and forged it into a juggernaut. And this, dear viewer, is where I shall leave you until the climax of this. Piashanger was not executed, and now, what's left of security, the entire crew, and the blood-worshipping cultists shall fight to decide the fate of reality itself. Attention, crew. This is your captain speaking. The station alert level has been set to red. Security has been taken over by the blood cultists. They are armed and extremely dangerous. I advise all crew to report to either medical to assist the injured or to security, where the cultists will clash with us. If we fail, reality itself may be at risk. God help us all.
Blood for blood, we rise for Darcy.
Hello there. It is I, your narrator, here to set the stakes for this final battle. You see, with the deaths of the research director and the death of Maple Truffle Brunch being sacrificed to the Dark God, the cult has all of the unholy energy they need to summon their god and win the round. Unfortunately, Steve, the holy girder from earlier, did make one final action before they died. They protected Peach with a holy barrier. And this barrier is currently preventing Darcy from manifesting. So, the stakes are simple. If Peach Andrew survives and kills the blood cults, the crew wins. But unbeknownst to Peach, he falls, everyone does, and Darcy takes over the sector. Let the final battle for everyone's souls commence. Steve, I'm sorry. And the lesson, my dear crew? Do not let a sentient piece of steel determine your whole life. Thank you very much for watching. This has been my magnum opus, the video I have spent the most amount of effort on. Have a very pleasant day. Okay, hold on. The video's not done yet. I have a couple of announcements to do and a credits roll. Well, here we go. Yeah. Anyway, I have a Blue Sky now. I voted on this and I didn't get around to making it because I was way too busy with this godforsaken video. So, yeah, I have it. Expect incredibly stupid tweets that make absolutely no sense, or whatever the hell Blue Sky calls them. And if you're wondering, why not Twitter? Too many Nazis. Way too many Nazis. Besides that, I just have a couple other things to talk about. I'm going to be streaming more often. I don't know if I'm going to do more, Peace Station, because again, map making is very hard. I am somewhat still committed to having Peace Station made. If it becomes it where I just can't get it done for whatever reason, I may look at potentially commissioning a map maker to turn the ideas of the stream into a bigger thing about it, and making a whole map out of it and just kind of see how that works. The map making tools are very hard to work with, and I will admit I have been humbled by them. I knew map making wasn't easy, but holy hell. Yeah. Besides that, though, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. This has been what I consider to be my magnum opus. And if you're new around here, subscribe. I can't promise that I'm going to make videos like this as often as I want to, because this has been a much longer and much more difficult and much bigger undertaking than I thought it would. I have learned a lot, and I am very proud of the end result. That's it from me. Have a very wonderful day. Goodbye. Oh, right, channel members. I not that I nearly forgot, but I do seriously have to thank my channel members. Seriously, it's been really a blessing to have you guys on board. We have Flubbergaster, some Kitty Cat, North Star, Punch 123, Web Swirtle, Weapons Warder, Philip Timo, Admiral, I was to say through Lapid. You can become a channel member down below, channel member, get cool perk, yes, channel member, channel perk, more, member, channel member, yeah. You get access to special channels on my Discord. I also have a Discord, yeah, that, sorry this is a bit rambly, but whatever, I'm tired. I just finished editing this. It's taken goddamn forever. Yeah, that is it, I think, finally, yeah. Thank you very much for watching once more. Bye. For real this time. Actually, I'm going to leave you on a clean recording of the Blood Cult music that was made by Inkboy Lost for this video. Thank you. Bye.